What is up, everybody? Diversity here today, and we're gonna talk about VGC. Apparently, one of their opinion pieces, and they have the bright idea to say that Xbox is gonna be more doom and gloom for Xbox, and Phil Spencer isn't the Xbox savior that we thought he was, but he's gonna be the man who killed the Xbox brand. Now that is just hilarious because if you want to talk about Xbox dying, that would be the Xbox One generation with Don Matrick because when he was doing the whole TV, and you can play Connect, that was kind of killed the Xbox brand, or you couldn't share your games and stuff like that. But Phil Spencer revived the brand like a phoenix from the ashes and turned it around. So much so that he even made the service with Game Pass, is which a lot of Sony fanboys, the competition's fan base, is so envious over. So you gotta save the brand to what it is, and there has to be some adjustments to adjust with what the current market of gaming is, whether it be some games on rival platforms or whatever. I think that's okay because once again, by the way the Xbox One generation was going, Xbox would have been dead by now, but it's still here. So I think people gotta give Phil Spencer more credit. But once again, this is from VideoGameChronicles.com. Let's see what he has. Why is he saying that Phil Spencer is about to kill the brand? Phil Spencer spoke to the press at GDC last week, offering some context/spin on Microsoft's recent maneuvers, while dropping a few now customary hints about the Xbox division future plans. I'm no longer sure Xbox has much of a future to speak of. Moreover, I think Phil Spencer for long cast as Xbox savior may ultimately be remembered as the man who killed it. That is just ridiculous right there. Apparently, with his other interview, Spencer lamented that the game industry simply isn't growing enough, explaining that all Microsoft's recent moves, acquisition Blizzard concessions, the decision to take Xbox exclusive to PS5 and our switch to layoffs, has been designed to counter this unavoidable and irrefutable truth. I mean, both sides aren't really growing like that. Like, even you see PlayStation side of things, that the people who work at PlayStation, the head honchos there, aren't happy with how that system's selling either. So you can't just say it's just Phil Spencer complaining that he's just saying it's not a growth, and the other side is saying the same thing too, and there's a so-called market leader. It just kills me that people say the Xbox is about to be over. It's once again doom and gloom, but people don't say this about any other industry. Just because Xbox isn't first, Microsoft isn't first, doesn't mean they're just losing. Like, once again, like, if you see in the food industry, McDonald's is number one in these burger fast food spots, but Wendy's and who else? Burger King, they aren't. You don't say they're doom and gloom. You just say, hey, they're not number one, and those companies are still doing what they're doing just to be profitable. They don't have to be number one. They don't have to beat McDonald's, but apparently in the game industry, Microsoft just must be PlayStation. They just can't be afloat to give their audience great games and great services to keep them afloat. That just can't be possible. Let's see. Let's see here. Without new customers, Spencer says everybody's customer is your success state. You can't succeed unless you join customers from other publishers and other platforms. Yeah, because if the console bases aren't growing, you need to expand elsewhere. That's pretty obvious right there. And because you're not finding new customers with the games that you're building, everybody's kind of fighting over the same size pie. We have an industry that is projected to be smaller next year in terms of players and dollars, and you get a lot of publicity traded companies that are in the industry that have to show their investor growth, because well, as though somebody own a share of someone's stock if it's not going to grow. Okay, so he agrees with Phil Spencer. But he says, I am sorry to have to point this out to you, but you are the head of Xbox. I'm not sure you get to depend all this on the microeconomic this and that, You have had, I think it's fair to say, a degree of agency in all this. Indeed, there are maybe half a dozen people with the power to actually change the shape of the gaming industry. And for the last 10 years, you have been one of them. Which he has done. I don't see why you say he hasn't changed it. Okay. If there's one lesson we can take from the Spencer era is that you can enact all the disruptive change you like, but you cannot disprove it in the industry's oldest truth. Great games sell consoles. $100 billion later, Xbox still doesn't have them. So he says Xbox has no games, really? Or they just released Starfield, or they're releasing the Indiana Jones game, really? And you say they have no games. And then that's the thing too. A lot of these people who say that, just these exclusive sell consoles, well, that's not the case. Only people who can really say that is Nintendo player base. The PlayStation player base definitely can't say that because you see the average person who owns a PS5, they're playing Call of Duty, Fortnite, Minecraft. They're playing third-party games that's on every system. They have no interest in those big first-party games like that. So they're just playing multi-plats that you can play anywhere. So once again, when GTA releases, that's gonna sell like a ridiculous amount of copies, but it's not gonna be the first party games unless it's like Spider-Man, which is the exception because that's a well-known IP. So, but I don't expect the Stellar Blaze, the Rise of the Ronin's to sell at all. Really, it's gonna be like the Spider-Man's at most for first party is gonna sell really well. So I don't know why this blame is being all this blame is being placed on Xbox. For even when they do have great games, it's still not gonna be bought like that because the average person just plays the big third party games. Then they talk about the dedicated Xbox handheld that Spencer wants to do, which I'm sure seems like a no-brainer in a world where Steam Deck exists, but I imagine it will be an alarming prospect for a development community that is slowly cottoning onto the fact that it makes games for Xbox is too much of a faff given the tep reward and offer. Did you think that the PS Portal was a tep reward to offer? Like, you're literally just streaming games that you can play on your PS5 on the PS Portal. But I'm pretty sure this guy had no problem with that, though, which is way worse in every aspect. Okay. Let's see. Then he's talking about the publisher's question is future support of a platform, which it's just hearsay. We can say the publisher stated that, but we don't know how many publishers or if it was just one or multiple. We don't even know if this is even true or not, to be honest. Okay, so he talks about bringing Epic Game Store to Xbox consoles. Okay, so he enjoys that idea that they bring the different platform stores to Xbox. So I don't see who would have a problem with that. Like, it doesn't make sense why anybody would disagree with that. And if he thinks that is a two-way street, the first step on a journey that ends with Game Pass on PS5, Switch, and Steam, then he has surely lost the point. Did he say bring a Game Pass to these other platforms? I don't remember saying that, so I don't know where he's getting this from. Taking from exclusives to rival platforms, yet more short-term thinking. I mean, it's obviously paying off because people are hyped about Hi-Fi Rush, which just released, and people are hyped about Sea of Thieves, which is one of the most pre-order games on PS5. So, it's obviously working. The same bodies who says, "Hey, Xbox has no games, can't wait to play Xbox games," though. So, something is working there. So, once again, I don't get this nonsense. I think it's just somebody's butthurt because Xbox has a pretty great future and just want to do more doom and gloom nonsense and say, hey, the world is over for Xbox. They might as well just have Chicken Little as the mascot for these different game journalists because all they do is do Xbox doom and gloom pieces to get some type of traction. This person states, the hypocrites since the beginning of this gen, your gaming media have been running a desperate smear campaign trying to kill the Xbox brand at all costs, trying to make PlayStation the only choice for consumers. All this perpetual Xbox dooming is quite old. Each and every day, that's all you see is Xbox is going to be over with. I was like, okay. Interesting article. I just think it gives Spencer too much power in terms of shaping the games industry. It is true that Microsoft is one of the biggest players, especially after all the acquisitions, but consider that until the Activision Blizzard buy, they had almost no mobile presence. Okay. Okay, so this person states, even if I agree with some of the points, the whole piece feels a bit short-sighted. Yeah, hardware is in a bad shape, but a new record of playtime on January, I believe that's when they had Power World on there, when that just released. So, they have big successes every now and then, every few months. So, didn't like it was dying, and it didn't like it was dying when they had Power World on there. They had record numbers, so I'm not really buying this whole doom and gloom nonsense. Yes, I don't get why this Xbox is down stuff is still going on. They're obviously not the most successful console, but they never were. They do, however, have an extensive ecosystem, great social service, and good relationship with other companies. They're fine. Yeah. At the end of the day, they're fine right now. There's just this constant wave of negativity these gaming journalists want to put out there. Like, once again, I don't see, I guess, like the food critics or food journalists who do the same thing about Burger King or Wendy's. Why aren't they first place? Why aren't they first place over McDonald's? I don't see them saying those different restaurants when we go out of business. But you know, when it's video games, apparently Xbox just has to be just go out of business. Apparently, it's just weird. The drug connoisseur will be pleased. Y'all gave him 3 days worth of material to work with. Thumbnails are going to be fire. You know, they really gotta stop slandering that guy. Has that guy even been like active really in the console space, console war space? I don't think he has. And he's still getting slandered, which is kind of crazy. Phil inherited the Xbox division on a deathbed and turned it into a division of Microsoft taking in more money than Windows. Hate the guy all you like for console war BS, but the guy has done the work. Yeah, I don't get that. Like, you literally see the position he was left with Xbox, but you still crap him on a daily basis. This makes no sense to me. I don't think too many people can turn Xbox around the way he did, so give credit where it's due. Another Doom post, how original. The National Enquirer of game journalism. It's kind of seemed like that at this point. Seems like y'all want Don Matrick back. Oh man. They want the guy who killed the brand back. Then you got a Sony fanboy saying he agrees, as he has the DualSense and Lily in his profile picture. Great games on consoles. Is that why the console market has not grown a single bit in the last 20 years? Facts. It's like, if these great games are selling consoles, then why aren't the console market growing then? Even for the PlayStation side of things, it's not growing. People are just playing, like I said, third-party games. That's it. It's like GTA is doing more growth for the console market than a first-party game ever could. Rent on the Office Space must be due. Seems more fitting for Don Matrick. Don Matrick was right. We really have like revisionists, like gaming history revisionists right here. Let's say Don Matrick was right. Okay. How? Okay. Apparently Don Matrick did the job right, because multiple people were saying that he was right when I was like, no, he wasn't. It's like, how do you go from the Xbox 360 generation, which was probably the best Xbox ever been, in 360 generation, the golden years of Xbox, to Xbox One? That was a complete 180 spiral downhill. But these guys say Don Matrick was right all along when he killed the brand. He literally single-handedly killed. He was literally the Titanic as a sinking. That's what he was doing with Xbox. But they're saying he's right. Don Matrick was right. That just makes no sense. You know the old saying, you either die a hero or you live long enough to become a villain. Okay. Yeah, once again, I'm not seeing it. Like, once again, I think the future is great with Xbox, especially as they're announcing like they might be doing like the whole PC store as Xbox, a new handheld. I don't see what the issue is. It looks okay. It looks okay to me. People are just doom and glooming. It's just getting ridiculous. You can have the best strategy, the best hardware, the best service, the best price, the best marketing, but it counts for nothing if you can't deliver the best games. So is PlayStation doing that right now? I don't think they're doing that right now, but okay. If anything, the people who are winning in the so-called game department is Nintendo, but once again, I like Nintendo games, but let's be honest, a lot of their games don't even have voice acting. You're playing the games at blurry settings and blurry resolutions. So it's like, I would take an Xbox console over Nintendo any day of the week. I don't care how many copies they're selling because of nostalgia reasons. When their biggest games, like the Pokemon games, come out buggy, unfinished, glitchy messes. But because it sells well, we want to say that's the market leader or whatever. But, you know. I'm sure this opinion piece by Phil Spencer will be well received by the Xbox community. Yeah, maybe the ones who jumped ship been complaining about those 4 games that released on PlayStation. But I think the same ones say, hey, this guy is fully full of crap. I was like, what are you talking about? You saying Phil Spencer's gonna kill the brand? I was like, no. The guy who killed the brand was left the Xbox One generation. That's the guy who killed the brand. I don't feel any type of way about Phil Spencer, but Xbox was in dire shape with the direction rejected by consumers with Xbox One. So what was he supposed to do? A lot of damage was done caused by Don Magic during the latter half of the 360 years, and became even more. Yeah. This video is getting long, so I'm gonna conclude it right here. But yeah, this is just ridiculous. Like, anybody who was around doing 360 until now know how badly the brand got ruined during Xbox One generation. So to blame this on Phil is kind of ridiculous. But you know, the gaming media, who we supposed to be listening to, they're gonna tell you that, hey, Phil Spencer is killing the brand, when it's like he's saving it, if anything. So definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Do you agree with these guys or this guy at VGC, or do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts down below. Leave a like this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and peace.